Hello Tarot Rebels, welcome to today's video. My name is Michaela from Tarot Rebel and I'm super happy to see you all joining us. I saw this tag circulating on the YouTube, on the tarot community, and I really like the idea behind my Tarot Aesthetics VR as a response to Tarot with Ruby. I've seen a couple more videos and I will link them in the description box down below. The idea of this video is to think what kind of aesthetics do your decks gather under, I don't know, and see how you resonate with them. Basically there are 4 prompts, but before I get into that, please give me a second to thank you all for joining, and if you want to leave a message or share or like or subscribe to my channel, that would be really much very much appreciated. So without further ado, let's see what the tag prompts are. So first tag is decks that are your aesthetics and that you connect with, and I will start strong with my beautiful Mariel Tarot. I'm sure you've seen it in my videos and other people's videos as well. It's just something about the mysticism of this tarot deck that just speaks to me. The cardstock is amazing. It's a really nice matte glossy kind of stock, but it does have a certain shine to it. It shuffles beautifully. I have the second edition, I have to say. People who have the first one, they're really lucky, and there are a lot of things that connect me to this deck, and I'm really happy. Like, I love this Queen of Discs, I love the Queen of Wands, I love the King of Discs. It's just an experience. Like, it's a tactile experience, but also visual, but also I feel like certain images, especially the cards I associate with the water element, like the King of Cups, I find them very intriguing from an audio perspective, if it makes sense. Like, I can hear the water trickling down or something like that. I'm not sure I can explain it. Anyway, so I love this deck. I've connected to it from the very first time I used it. I don't really use it to read for other people, I just use it for myself, so I'm very selfish in that way. And if you have the chance to get this deck, even if it's just to browse the book, I would totally recommend it. So this is one of the decks I'm in love with and I connect with fully. Another deck that I connected with, and it's been with me for a very short period of time now, it's the Majestic Earth. So I took advantage and I managed to snatch a copy. It's a factory setting. I don't really mind if it's a factory setting or something else. It's not a big deal for me. I still keep it in order because every time I use it, it's just I put it back in order. The quality of this deck, it's a very tactile experience as well, and again, it has gilding. I'm not a fan of gilding, but the immensity of the images that were chosen for this deck, I think it's just everything becomes loud and distant, but also muffled at the same time. It's such an interesting experience to just be able to pull a card and sit with the card and meditate on it. So this is one of the decks that I'm really happy to have in my collection. Okay, so that's it for the Majestic Earth. I know loads of people want it. I was honestly blessed to be able to purchase it. Next, I think I'm gonna go with a classic, with the Deviant Moon. So you'll notice that my aesthetics is all over the place, and you can see that the box is so tatty. Like, I have I have glued it back on because it started to break, and my edges are a bit worn down, but I don't mind. Again, this deck is in order. It's just something about the darkness of this deck that draws me in, and it's quite an interesting experience to work with it for yourself and for others. I think it's a very good solid tool, even if you just read for yourself or if you decide to read for others and they're not put off by the dark imagery, then sure, you have yourself a very nice tool to use in your readings. And I am quite attracted to the quirkiness of this deck. I like the exaggerated, grotesque figures in the cards, and I don't know. It's just something about Patrick Valenza's art, and I know everyone absolutely gushes over his art, but I'm no different. So yeah, this is one of the decks I really love. Next, just to change the tone completely, the Stella Tarot. I think I've mentioned this deck before. It's a deck I've pondered a lot if I should get or not, and I decided yes, I should. Again, this deck is in order. I like the whimsical art style, and I think it's a really cute deck. Again, I still keep it in order because I shuffle a card, but mostly it's because when I work with it, the way I do it now, I just go through the whole deck, pick a card, and then meditate, sit on it, and then put it back in order. So yeah, I love this. I love this. I hope you can see. Oh my god, yeah, this devil card is so cool. This moon card and the sun. Anyway, the whole deck is an experience, and I'm super happy to have it. It's one of my favorite decks. I'm not gonna lie. It's just a cute little addition to my collection. What else? Let's see. Again, to change the note completely and the tone completely. This is a struggle to I don't know. This box is not ideal for me. I always end up like messing something up. I don't like it, but oh, there we go. So just to change the tone completely, let's go into the Fantastical Tarot. And I think I've mentioned this deck multiple times. This is honestly one of the best purchases I've ever made. Yeah, so we still have the title card. This is a deck by Natalie Hertz, and it's a mass market deck. But for a mass market deck, it is so good. Such a good reader. Such a solid tool, and the quality of production is amazing. And I'm really, again, the Ten of Cups is, yeah. The quality of the production, I love the bronzy borders, and I love the backs. They're reversible if you read reversals. As you can see, this is one of my most used decks because I always use it in some form or another. I just love it. Shuffles gorgeously. Like if I'm just gonna try. Ooh, there we go. My hands are a bit dry, so it's just the cards are just slipping away from me. But at the same time, this is a solid deck. I love it. And the aesthetic, although it looks very weird and a bit creepy, it's the creepiness factor that draw me in the first place. And yeah, it looks like today is not a good day for putting the cards back into the box. So there we have it. And next deck is a very underdog type of deck. Is the new Immortals Tarot. I don't know what's with this deck, because I remember not being very impressed when I first purchased this. It was like a Kickstarter last year, and I got it Jan, Feb, something like that. and it's a solid deck. I love the artwork. I don't necessarily love collage work, but from the first moment I got this deck, it was instant click. It's such an easy reader. You can use it with anyone because the artwork is so diverse and so quirky and so colorful. I think it makes people feel at ease. So it's very, very easy to use it in multiple circumstances. I just love it. Look at this High Priestess. I just love it. Anyway, so yeah, this is an aesthetic that I would describe as all over the place because it's a collage deck, but definitely works for me. And the last deck in this section, it's probably the only deck that's an oracle in the whole video. So this is the Illuminated Earth Oracle. I just received this deck. Just received. I think I got it like a month ago. Regardless, I absolutely consider this one of my soul decks. As I said, my hands are a bit dry now, so I can't really. The cards stuck together, so I can't really show you them one by one. But the keywords are amazing. The marble art is amazing. I just love this wisdom card. Dreams, incarnation. Let's see what we have here. Productivity. It's just something about this deck that spoke to me, and I've been waiting for it for all. This was one of the defining cards that actually convinced me to buy it. So the gifts card. I don't know. There's something about this deck. It's amazing. I don't know how to describe it. It's just one of my soul decks, probably. I'm not a massive fan of the production quality. Like, I think the cardstock is a bit too thick. But because the deck is such a solid deck, I'm happy to ignore this as for me. So yeah, these are the decks that are my aesthetic and how I connect with them. Next, we have decks that are your aesthetics but you don't connect with. I don't know which ones to start because some of them are really surprising for me. But I think I'm going to start with the biggest disappointment of them all, which is my Naked Heart Tarot. I still think this is a deck that fits my aesthetic. I'm just not massively fond of the... Initially I thought when I saw a couple of images, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, I love it. But now I'm not so fond of the white space, and the cardstock is absolutely awful to shuffle. For me, it's basically impossible. It makes the deck so thick, I can't shuffle it. So, like, as much as I love the decks, the images, some of them, most of them actually, it's just a nightmare to try and use it, and I never clicked with it. Whenever I tried to use it, I was like, meh. And then I had to go back to the guidebook, and I kind of tend to like my decks to use them intuitively rather than rely on the guidebook. So I was never a massive fan of this deck. I was a massive fan of this deck before I bought it, and then I got it, and then yikes, nothing happened. So yeah, this is a deck that's my aesthetic, but it doesn't work for me. Next one, I'll just butcher this little guy again. Modern Tarot Reader, or Antique Anatomy, I think it's called in the States. Again, this is a cardstock issue for me. And also a bit of compromise when it comes to the suits. So we have the blades, the rods, the elixirs, the rods, again, the blades. The majors are amazing. Trying to find a pentacle somewhere. Blades, coins, yeah? So okay, let's use these. So we have the pentacles, you have the ace, the two of coins, the fool is here, the page, and the knight, right? Cool. Then in the blades, you have the blades, the seven of blades, the ace of blades, the queen, the king, and the page. Cool. Fun. Then you have the rods, the queen, the king, the knight, the ace, and the eight of rods, which is the wands, right? And then you have the cups. And in the cups you have, for the king you have the calming tonic number 14. For the queen you have the beauty potion number 13. So there are 14 cards in a suit. The king is number 14, the queen is number 13. Very specific. Fertility tonic number 12. This is the knight. This is the page, right? And if I go to see what other cups cards are, they're all very, like, the ace of cups is the love potion number 1. If my camera would like to focus. This is the magician, the high priestess, the hangman. Okay, so one of the best examples of what I wanted to say is this card, right? The four of cups. You have the suit of elixirs, arsenic, morphine, heroin, and cyanide, right? The amount of attention that went into the suit is not translated in the other suits, and that for me is a very, I don't want to say lazy, but I think it's a bit lazy to not devote the same kind of attention to develop the other suits in a way that makes sense, in a way that basically aligns to what the cup suit is. And then you have the majors, which I think they're okay. I think they're very creative, they're nice. Like, I love this fool. Look at this strength card. Yeah, it's a nice enough work that's being done with these, but the amount of work that went into the suit of cups versus the other ones, it kind of bothers me, so I can't get past it, and it's kind of annoying for me. And also the cardstock is so thin. I've seen Dawn Michelle's video where she rebacks the whole deck, but it's paper thin. It's basically paper thin, and I can't shuffle it because I just risk damaging my cards. And I think I've damaged multiple cards by shuffling them. You can do this hand over hand, but that's about it. So yeah, although I like the idea of this deck, I'm not happy with the execution. I think a lot more planning should have gone into this rather than a quick way out from designing it. Okay. I've spent too much time talking about this deck now, so I'll just move on to the next one, which, okay, I'm gonna be controversial. It's gonna be the white Numen. I thought this will be my aesthetic, and in some way it is. It's just such a pretentious deck in terms of quality. It feels like if you shuffle it too strongly, it's just gonna bend, is gonna crack, and the gilding, the golden gilding, I don't think it's very high quality golden gilding. It does shine nicely, whoa, but this is not what I need when I want to use a deck, right? I love this Two of Pentacles. So it's just, I love this Four of Swords, it's really nice, but it's just something about the quality of the deck that doesn't let me use it, and I don't use it. I don't connect with it. Every time I use it, I feel the need to go back to the book. But then there's a problem with the book. It has loads of mistakes in it because I don't know why. Okay, now I can't take the book. Okay, so there are typos in the book, which kind of annoys me, and the keywords are very basic. So for death, for the death card, we have peace, fear, resurgence. What? That kind of doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, these are my pet peeves. This is like a tiny guide to help you read the cards if you really want to. I'm not really a fan of the golden gilding. I think I would have been better if I chose the standard deck, because this was part of a bundle, of a special edition bundle, and I think now I'm kind of over buying bundles and special edition things, because usually they don't end up being used, in my opinion. But that's just my experience. Okay, I'm gonna be very short, brief with regards to this deck, the Crimson Tarot. This is a deck that's RWS inspired, and it's a black, red and white deck. It's still in order because I just received it. It's a Kickstarter deck. I forgot to cancel the pledge, so this is how I ended up with this deck, because I didn't really want it. And the more I look at it, the more I'm convinced that, yeah, I don't want it. I'm not gonna use it. Yes, it's fun, it's quirky. I like the eye versus the eyes on the characters. But do I need it? Probably not. So yeah. It's a linen cardstock. It's nothing to write home about, like, in my opinion. It's a decent deck, I'm not gonna lie. It's just, I do like monochrome decks and red based decks, but this one is not for me, unfortunately. Okay, a very controversial choice is gonna be the Pagan Otherworlds. This is my copy. Let's see if I can open it without damaging anything. Everyone loves this deck. I thought I love this deck. I decided it's nice to look at. I do like the earthy elements to it, and I do like the pippish aspects that are in the minors. But this is not a deck for me. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. I've not decided if I'm gonna rehome it or keep it. I don't know. I like the quality of the deck, I'm gonna say that. And I am into biblical imagery in some way, but this one somehow doesn't work for me. So yeah. Although this looks like something I would enjoy, I don't necessarily enjoy it. So yeah, this is the Pagan Otherworlds, and I'm sure people will gasp at the idea of not enjoying this deck, because everyone loves it. Okay. I have two more decks in this category. One of them is an indie darling. It's the Ash and Thorn. I love animal-based decks. Like, this should be my jam, I think. I think it's the color palette in the end that doesn't work for me, because it's very, very warm and very autumnal, and I kind of like my decks to be usable year-round and not be seasonal, if that makes sense. So this is a very gorgeous artwork. This is a very gorgeous deck. It's just I'm not keen on the brown, earthy tones, and it's the same with Pagan Otherworlds. I'm not keen on the brown, earthy tones, even though they're kind of my favorite. It's just when it's too much of it, and I have no other color diversity, I guess. It's just difficult for me to enjoy it. Anyway, this is the Ash and Thorn. Gorgeous deck. I've not decided yet if I'm gonna sell it or keep it. because I do like the idea of having a deck printed in the UK by a UK creator in a very environmentally friendly manner. So I quite like the idea. It's just for me as a deck, this doesn't work at all. And last but not least, it's the Ophidia Rosa Tarot. I wanted this for such a long time, and I managed to get a copy 2 years ago, maybe? I don't know, something like that. A year and a half, maybe? I don't know. I love the matte gold gilding or bronze gilding, I don't know what color this is, I'm not good with the colors. And I like the tea stain aspect, and I like the snake in the background in the back, but it's just the scarcity of the message. 3 of Swords, the Emperor, the 3 of Pentacles. I don't see the 3 of Pentacles in this one. Okay, I see the Ace of Swords because there's a sword, right? But how is this the 10 of Wands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, do I have to start counting the elements on the image? And the oops, sorry. And the various, sorry for that, I just hit my camera stand. And the various plants are not explained throughout the deck, like the Fool. Okay, I don't recognize the plants. I would need some backup here, because how is this Temperance? How is there a connection between the plant that was chosen for this card and the message of the card? I don't know, it's difficult. And then you have the leaflet, which I think it's quirky and fun, but you can't use the quirky and fun and take out the leaflet when you're reading for someone else, right? It has like a poem, like a verse for each of the cards, and it's not really helping. So yeah, this is the Ophidia Rosa, and I also have the Sister Tarot Oracle, the Fitia Botanica. I think that one works a bit better, and I tend to use the Ophidia Rosa Tarot as an oracle as well, but it still doesn't work massively well for me. So yeah. Okay, this was decks that are your aesthetic but you don't connect with. So next prompt is decks that aren't your aesthetics but you still connect with. There's a lot to unpack. First of all, the first one is the RWS, the classic one. Regardless of what kind of edition, I tend to use the Centennial. I used to use the Centennial, now not anymore, because, and I'm not going to show it because everyone knows it, because now I use the Aquarian Tarot. As you can see, my copy is quite bruised and battered. I have the 70s edition, but I do like the pastel colors. So although this is not my aesthetics, I do not like the colors. It's a bit too psychedelic for me, or so I thought, until I just I couldn't get it out of my head, so I just purchased it, and now I keep using it because I really enjoy using this deck. It's one of my favorite decks, and I think it's such a solid reader, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of how well you know the tarot. I think this is a very solid deck. I'm gonna go with really interesting choices next. The Field Tarot. This is a thought-based tarot deck, and I wanted this deck for such a long time, and I have times when I connect with it and sometimes when I don't connect with it. I don't really use it as a thought deck because I find the keywords very distracting, so I just use it as a RWS system. But I do like the type of the art. Yes, it's obviously computer generated art, but I do like it, and I think for the price I paid, I think it was like £15 when I got it. The quality is really nice. This is the mass market edition, where I think it's worth saying that, just in case you're wondering. I do use it every now and then, once in a while maybe. It's not a massive game changer in my practice, but I do enjoy it. Should I go quirky? Should I go colorful? I'm gonna go with this deck. This deck is a deck I got from eBay, secondhand. It doesn't come with the box. This is what it came in. It's the Golden Tarot of Klimt. This is not my aesthetic at all. But for a mass market deck, because I think it's by Los Carabeo, so it's 2005. It's almost 20 years old. I think the golden gilding, as you can see, it has some golden pieces in it. They held up really well, and it's such a nice deck to use, and I think it's very evocative, it's a very talkative deck in a way. And I do like the figures, the people. I do like the fact that they're not very beautiful by, I don't know, the societal standards, if that makes any sense. I don't know. So I just like this deck so much, and I'm really happy I got it. It's not my aesthetic. I'm not really a golden type of person. I prefer silver or other types of precious metal. But this deck is a stunner, and I think it's a really useful deck to have. And the guidebook is really nice, I will say. Next, I'm struggling to think how surprising things can get. Sorry, that was my can of Coke. Next one is the Ostara Tarot. Don't get me wrong. First of all, this isn't my aesthetic, but second of all, this is a deck created by 4 people. So it's kind of hard from just starting from that premise to think you're gonna like it. I hate this box because it doesn't have a separator, so you just like either flip the box and have all the cards fall into your hands or whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's just move and look at the cards. The Fool, Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, the Devil, the King of Wands, no, the King of Cups. So there are 4 authors of this deck: Molly Applejohn, Eden Cook, Krista Gibbard, and Julia Ardell. So they designed, each of them designed one of the suits, and then they split the majors, and you can tell the artwork. I think this is the similar person. I forgot who designed the suit of swords, but you can tell. This is the 7 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles, I love it, 3 of Cups, oh no, the Ace of Cups, sorry. I haven't used this deck in a while, so I'm trying to remember some of the cards because I don't remember all of them. I love this 4 of Wands, it's absolutely lovely. 7 of Cups, 6 of Wands, 10 of Wands, the Moon, the Star. As you can see, the artwork is very different, but none of the artwork would necessarily be my type of artwork. So when I saw this deck, and I think it was on a picture on Instagram or something like that, something on social media made me buy it, obviously. I was like, ooh, I need to have that in my life, and I just ordered it, and I got it, and I've been using it. It was for the best part of I think 2020 spring. It was like the only deck I would use for everything, because I was just so enthralled by the imagery, even though it's not necessarily my type of imagery. It just, I was absolutely in love with it. Next is a deck that I'm not necessarily a fan of. So it's the Queen Alice Tarot by Dame Darcy. I'm not necessarily a fan of the story. So this is the only Alice type of deck that I own, because it's not my kind of thing. But also the artwork is kind of a bit loud and a bit obnoxious. it's just, what? So the Knight of Wands, the Fool. If you know the story, it does make sense, but you don't have to know the story to be able to read the deck. But it's so loud and so, I don't know. It's just, looking at it now, I'm just wondering, what was I thinking? Because I remember paying a lot for this deck. But I just like it. I don't know, it's such an easy read. It doesn't look like it, but it is. And although it looks like Alice is on mushrooms or something, it's just a really good deck to use. So yeah, I've had no problem. I'm not really a fan of decks that are based on a known story, because I kind of feel compelled to know the story, to be able to read with it. But this one, I don't know. I mean, I've read Alice in Wonderland ages ago when I was little, but it's not the same thing as using it now. And also the quality, the production quality is really nice, so I'm happy with that. Next, I'm gonna say this deck, Le Tarot de Marseille par Paul K. And I think I've showed this deck before on my channel. I think I also have a walkthrough of it. It's something. This medieval Marseille deck is something else. It's so funny and quirky. And Le Valet de Coupe, this is the Page of Cups. Two of Swords, Ace of Swords. Oh my god, everything is so... Anyway, it's just something. The whole deck is something. I love this Knight of Cups. Anyway, oh, the Judgment card, yeah, and the Queen of Wands. It's a very grotesque like deck, and it's a very clear intention of it wanting to be that, but it's a very fun, quirky deck, and I use it for my friends, to be honest, because the imagery, it just makes us laugh. I don't know, maybe we have a morbid sense of humor, I don't know, maybe. Next we have the Muse Tarot. I've resisted buying this deck for such a long time. I know it's a fan favorite, everyone loves it, everyone wants it, blah blah blah. I was never a fan. I was never a fan. I thought the artwork is cringy because it's obviously manipulated and photoshopped and whatever. But it's such a solid read, and sometimes you need the sweetness of a deck to get you through hard days, and I think this is why this works for me and for others as well, because this is one of the decks I use for others, and I think it works really well for them. So yeah, this is the Muse Tarot. I don't necessarily like the artwork. I don't think it's... I don't like any of the cards, to be fair. But as soon as I start shuffling and as soon as I start using it, it just makes sense. Everything clicks. I don't know. And the last one, this is very interesting. This is the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. So it's the first time I heard about it, I was like, so are you an Oracle deck or are you a Tarot deck? And I think it's both and neither at the same time, if that makes sense. It's just, look at that. It has chakra cards, it has spiritual cards, material cards, mental cards, so on and so forth. You can use it in so many ways, and the keywords are exceptional. They do make sense in the context. It's just a solid read. Obviously I'm not a fan of the gilding, but I purchased this deck secondhand. Doesn't really matter. Yeah. So this is the Psychic Tarot. And this was the section of decks that aren't your aesthetic, but you still connect with them. So, last section of the video is decks that aren't your aesthetic, but and you don't connect with. First one is going to be the Chtlulhu Dark Arts Tarot. I really wanted to like this deck. I really did, to be honest. It was a Kickstarter deck, and it was kind of a disappointment to me. This is the box it came in. It was like the very special edition with the black and white version of the deck, and also the colored version of the deck. I did a walkthrough a couple of weeks ago, I think, months ago, I don't remember. Anyway, I was expecting more from this deck, as in choices for the cards, connection with the myth of Chtlulhu, things like that. It never happened, so I was quite disappointed. Some people were disappointed about the Pip style deck, the Pip style cards, which I kind of knew about. I wasn't necessarily fussed about it. It's just we have a Joker, I don't know, loads of cards that aren't necessarily needed, I would say. And I think I messed up my, the order of my cards. I never use it. I got it as a collectible, to be fair. So from that point of view, yes, I guess it makes sense. But I'm not a Cthulhu fan. I'm not an H.P. Lovecraft fan. I wanted it to collect it, I guess. And I did accomplish that. It's just not my aesthetic, never will be, and obviously I do not connect with it. So yeah, this is the first deck in this category, I guess. I still like the production quality. I had some gripes with the order of the decks, if you want, because they were produced in different parts of the world and they weren't in the same order, so it kind of annoyed me, I will say. Next deck is the Vinci Tarot, Vinci Enigma Tarot by Katie Matthews. I don't know what I expected, to be honest. I saw this deck and I was like, oh, I have to have it, because I kind of like my artsy stuff. So I got this deck, never used it. I don't know why I got it. I'm not a Da Vinci fan. It's based on his artwork, which is, yeah, I guess fine. I think the book is nice, but I can't imagine myself reading with it. I can't imagine using it on someone, you know, like it's, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, so this is the Da Vinci Enigma Tarot. As you can see, not used by me or anyone else. Next, something annoying. The Magical Nordic Tarot. I wanted to like this deck so much. As you can see, the way it's, the cutouts and the cards, the way they sit, it's just an annoyance altogether. I don't know what that was. I think I got cards stuck in there. Anyway, the cutouts are not ideal. This is the guidebook. It's a pip deck. I didn't know that when I got it. The artwork, I thought it would be somewhat whimsical, childish, in the vein of maybe Stella Tarot, but a lot more watercolory, which would have been fine, but it's not that. And there's also this extra card here, which is called Charity. And while the other images are very structured, and you can see the connection with the Rider-Waite system. This charity card is, I don't know, it says here, designed by the world-renowned artist Tracy Emin, the charity card depicts the image of one of the most sacred animals in Nordic mythology, a blue cat. I don't see a blue cat. Anyway, synonymous with the goddess of love and beauty, Freya, who's thought to have traveled in a chariot pulled by cats. Felines were highly prized by ancient Nordic people, who believed the cats have been given to Freya as a gift from Thor. She loved them so much that they soon became her favorite companions, leading them to become a Nordic symbol of giving and kindness. Okay, I guess you can use that card. Whenever I use the deck, I just removed it from the deck because I couldn't connect with the card. But then I can't connect with the keywords either. You have, okay, some of them work, the Star Wishes, but then you have the Six of Pentacles, gifts, awareness, opportunity. I don't know, it's just, I guess. So yeah, I don't like the artwork. I thought it would be more watercolory than it is, and I don't like the gloss, the high gloss the cards have. I don't like the guidebook. I don't like, I don't know, it's just a whole mess for me. Maybe I should put the book first and then the cards. Anyway, lesson learned. I'm not using it. That's it, the Magical Nordic Tarot. And then we have some interesting choices, I think. The Entanglement Tarot. This was a Kickstarter, and apparently this is for ritual and spell casting. So the Entanglement Tarot is a hex-shaped deck designed for ritual and spell casting. I have the book. I've never used it. Obviously, I do like the quality of it, but I think it's a bit too ritualistic for me. Obviously, you can't shuffle them. They stuck together, and because of the size, you cannot shuffle them. So usually I get 2 or 3 cards at the same time, and I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. So that's the Entanglement Tarot. Maybe I'll learn how to use it, but this was a Kickstarter that I backed for some reason. Maybe I shouldn't, but it's too late now to back out of it. No, I can't. I don't know what happened here. This deck is very hard to put back into. Is this the right way? How did I do it? Yes. Okay. Annoying. I am annoying, not the deck. It's fine. So that's the Entanglement Tarot. Next we have the Tarot of Magical Correspondences by Eugene Vinitsky. And I will have to say, I got this deck on a whim, and I got it to study because it does feel like it was published with the purpose of teaching. It has a lot of symbology and meaning behind elements, numerology, I don't know, all sorts of things. And I do like the production quality. This is my certificate, copy number 7 out of 700. This is the Tree of Life that comes with the deck. And again with the golden gilding, which you know me, I love it. I do like the wealth of knowledge on the cards. Like if you look at it, the Magician, intelligence of transparency, and you have the Mercury, you have knowledge of sciences, miracles of healing, you have, I don't know, path number 12, Gebura, Bina, all sorts of information. Every time I tried to sit down with the deck and read about it, I was never into that. Like the Empress, you have illuminating intelligence, you have the number 3 here, you have the symbol, love, philistress. So this could be very useful for someone who wants to become more advanced at tarot reading. It's just, I think it's a bit too much in a way. I don't know, maybe I should give it a chance. But because the design of the deck is so all over the place, like you have this death card, you have the skull, you have the fish, you have the thing here, you have the number, you have a cactus, you have a scythe, necromancy, imaginative intelligence. I don't know, it's just, I feel like a lot is happening in this space. Okay, so yeah, I think this is still a useful thing to learn and to read about. It's just, it feels so overwhelming because of the design, because it's so busy. I just can't get my head around it for some reason. So yeah, this is the Tarot of Magical Correspondences. And last but not least, and this will be very short because this deck, I've had it for a year now, the Fantastic Menagerie Tarot by Baba Studios. This is the Cold Stamp edition. And I've not even opened it. I don't know why I got it. I'm still not convinced that I need it, I want it. I think I prefer the what's the other deck by Tarot Studios? I forgot the name of it, but it's also based on the art of J.J. Granville, and I prefer that one more. And now I'm stuck with this deck. I also have the book, and I'm stuck with this deck because I kind of don't like it. I've seen walkthroughs of both of them side by side, and it's just, that one works better for me. I think it's more accessible in terms of finances. Like if, sorry, my battery ran out. As I was saying, the Fantastic Menagerie Tarot, I don't know why I got it. I think it's a solid deck if you're into that. I kind of decided I'm not that much into animals depicting human activities, but the deck that Tarot Studios created, based on the same art by J.J. Granville, I think it's a much better fit for me than this one, and it's much cheaper. I think I paid half the price of this one on the Tarot Studios deck, and I don't know. I think it's I forgot the name of it, sorry. I was just spacing out. It's just not for me. It doesn't work, and none of these decks work. They're not necessarily my aesthetic, but they don't work at all. So, this is the decks that are your aesthetic, but you don't connect with. But the whole video is about my tarot aesthetics. As I said, it was created by Tarot with Ruby. I will leave the links in the description box down below for her video and other videos that I thought are really interesting to watch. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining. I do hope you enjoyed my ramble, and I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. I don't know, leave a like, share, subscribe to my channel, all the good things. If you want to purchase a reading, my details are in the description box down below, and you can do so there. And I would like to thank you for your time, for watching this video, for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all of that. And I do hope to see you in another video. Bye!